Hi. So, I have just read a really astonishing article saying that many NHS hospitals are paying over £2,500 to get one nurse to cover one shift. In fact, NHS hospitals are paying agencies up to £2,500 for one nurse to cover one 12-hour shift. And this is something that when I saw, I was like, oh my goodness, this is quite a lot of money. And in a time where we're talking about low pay, where we're talking about nurses striking because of pay, to see how this money is being spent, I'm like, OMG. So, agency nursing is a way that as a nurse you can get to earn a lot of money in the UK. This is one of the perks of actually being a nurse in the UK is the fact that yes, you may have your permanent job with the NHS, for example, that may be paying you, I don't know, 14, £15. But if you do agency nursing, you have the potential to even triple the amount of money that you're earning with the NHS. And I'm going to tell you why this is the case. So basically, as you know, the UK is currently acutely short-staffed when it comes to nurses. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, hey, you're welcome. It's such a beauty to have you. If you're a returning subscriber, it's always a pleasure and a privilege for me to have you return and watch these videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because I'm all about career progression in the UK. I'm very passionate about it. My name is Melvis, if this is the first time that we're meeting as well. I work for the NHS myself, so I'm a nurse. I work as an advanced nurse practitioner. And I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, midwives with career progression in the UK. So if you're looking for the best job in the UK, as a nurse, you're trying to specialize, you're trying to progress in your career, you've got an interview coming up, you just want to know what are the opportunities available, I'm your girl. If you're a carer and you're thinking, oh my God, now that I'm in the UK as a carer, what else can I do? What else is there? You need to check my coaching program out because that is where I support with all of these things because I bring all this information for you so that you can implement. But if you feel that you need extra support, you need my help, you need that one-to-one, coaching, then consider joining my private coaching program, which is where, I get to support you in a closer and a more personal level. So that's what I do because career progression is something that I'm particularly passionate about because for me, it's not enough that we're now in the UK. I'm thinking, what next? What else can you do? Yes, now you're in the UK, that's good and fine, but what else is there? And so that's why, yes, with all these different ways that you can earn more as a nurse, my interest is really in career progression. But in this video, I'm going to be telling you about agency nursing and the impact that if you progress in your career is going to have in agency nursing as well. So agency nursing is basically where you've got your permanent job, but you can register with an agency to work extra shifts. So if you register with an agency to do extra shifts, you can only do this extra shift in a different trust. So if you're employed by a particular trust, NHS trust, you cannot do agency in that place. If you work in a nursing home, it's the same. If you're in a nursing home, you're not allowed to do agency shifts where you're working. You always have to do it elsewhere, which means that while this is a very highly paid way of working as a nurse, you're going to earn a lot of money as a nurse because you can triple your nursing pay. Because if they're paying you, say, I don't know, £13, £14 per hour, if you do agency, you can earn like £30 per hour with agency shift. So again, but the sacrifice you have to make is that you're going to be traveling. So this is one of the things to be aware of. You need to travel to different areas in order to work, and also you're always going to be working in new areas with people that you probably don't know. But also you can have those extended contracts where you're really good working in a particular area and they just book you. But one thing I'm going to say, by the way, if you're watching this and you're an overseas nurse and you've got a UK visa, you need to watch out how many hours you're working, because obviously if you've got a visa, there are restrictions to that particular visa. So you need to make sure that you're doing everything right. If you're working extra shifts as a carer, you need to be careful and make sure that you're keeping and sticking to the rules because the rules change very frequently. You want to make sure that you know what the latest rules are because if you work too many shifts that are not allowed, after 5 years, when you apply for your indefinite leave to remain, they can refuse. And if they refuse, you need to leave the UK. So you need to be careful. But if you're free from those immigration restrictions or you're doing extra shifts within the acceptable limit, then that is absolutely fine. And I've done a video about, the governance that surrounds working extra shifts in the UK if you're on a visa. So you want to check that out. Make sure that you go through it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because this video, you want to watch it till the end, because I'm going to be talking about this agency nursing and how you can literally triple your pay. So when you do those agency shifts, obviously, the best thing about agency nursing is that you work when you want. So you're not on a rota, like me now. I work full-time for the NHS. I'm on a rota. My manager is going to tell me, Melvis, next week you're working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I have to go to work those days. If you're doing agency nursing, you don't have to do that. You're going to be deciding when you go to work, where you go to work, what time you work, and all of that. So that's the best thing, which means that if you've got children, and you want to be there for your kids, or you've got childcare issues, agency nursing is a very flexible way. It works beautifully, with that time management. It's just amazing. In fact, I've got many of my colleagues who have actually gone on to do this because of flexibility and, lack of flexibility in some NHS trusts. Because some managers, they're going to be like, oh no, you've got to work what we've given because it's about the service need. Some managers are more flexible, so obviously they tend to keep their staff. But many of the managers are not very flexible. They are not really willing to support the staff. And so people just leave and go and do agency. So when you hear that 44,000 nurses have left the NHS, some of these nurses are leaving to just do agency. So they're still working in nursing, but they're just working on their own terms. You work, so with agency, basically you earn a lot more, you can triple your pay, but you're working when you want, where you want. It's all your choice, and that's the good thing about it. But let me tell you one perk. If you decide to progress in your career and then you do agency nursing, you're going to earn even more. And look, all these things I'm telling you, I want you to leave a comment below and say, Melvis, I will implement. If you have any questions at all, leave those comments below, because I want to know that you're absorbing this information, is having an impact. And if you're enjoying the content, like the video, because it lets me know that you're enjoying the content, that I should do more. And it also encourages me to be like, hey, I'm not taking all this time to do these videos, read all these articles, do all this research, bring these articles to you for nothing. So please, I want my time to be well spent. I want your own time to be well spent. So do let me know that you're going to implement all of this. And if you're already doing agency nursing or you're considering agency nursing, leave a comment as well, share your experience, so that we can all just join in and contribute and see how you're getting on. Because look, we need that support towards each other, because nursing in the UK can be a very, very lonely thing. It can be very lonely, especially here. You haven't got family, you've got nobody, so you need to make sure that you're interacting, you know what I mean, and just getting that support, sharing your opinions, because you don't want to be doing the wrong thing thinking that you're doing the right thing. So you want to talk to people, be open-minded. So while talking about career progression, if you choose to progress in your career, let me tell you how much potential you have to earn. Me, for example, I work as an advanced nurse practitioner. So it's a role that, obviously I'm a nurse, but I do a job that is normally done by doctors. So what I actually do at work is a doctor's job, even though I am a nurse. But because I've had that extra training, so I can prescribe. Basically, I can see a patient independently. I can assess the patient. I can diagnose the patient. I can request investigations. I can interpret those blood results, interpret those investigations, prescribe treatments, admit patients to the ward, discharge patients from the ward. I can do all those things independently as a nurse practitioner without needing to consult a doctor if I don't feel that I need to. So because of this reason, the job, is quite highly paid, obviously being a nurse practitioner. And to put this into perspective, in the NHS, for example, if you're doing extra shift as a nurse practitioner, because you're doing shift that would normally be done by doctors, you can earn 50-60 pounds per hour. That's how much you earn. Like where I work, for example, that's how much they pay. If you want to do extra shift as a nurse practitioner, you earn 50-60 pounds per hour. But it even gets more interesting. If you choose to do agency, to just do agency nursing, which is what this video is all about. A colleague of mine recently left her nurse practitioner job to just do agency, and she is getting paid 110 pounds per hour. So every 1 hour that she's working, she's being paid 110 pounds. So this is not how much the agency is being paid. This is how much the agency is paying her for every hour that she works. So if she goes to work and does 10 hours, and works for 10 hours, how much is she paid? 1,100 pounds, because she's a nurse practitioner just like myself. And this is the difference with career progression. If you can progress in your career and then get into all these other opportunities within the private sector, then you have the potential to earn a lot more. And that's why I always advocate to nurses. I say, look, agency nursing, yes, you're going to be highly paid, but if you're a junior staff, it can be very stressful, because being a band 5 nurse for your entire career doing agency initially is going to look as if it's okay. But as time is going on and you're aging and you're working with those junior nurses who have progressed, who are telling you what to do, you're going to feel like they're not respecting your experience. But look, nursing is not necessarily about that experience, the position as well. They're going to be telling you what to do. And I have seen many people very upset. Many of the people that I've seen, they're doing agency nursing, they always say to me, Melvis, I'm so glad that you're trying to progress, that you're so, you've progressed in your career, because look, you don't want to end up like us. All those my African aunties that I meet on the wards, and I look at them and look at what they're doing, and they're like in their 50s, in their 60s, they're doing agency nursing, and they're like, this job is so hard. I'm so glad that you're not going to end up like us. So when you're still young, you may not realize it, but look, if you can focus on your progression, so that even if you're still doing agency later on, the roles that you have are different. Like me, for example, being a nurse practitioner, even if I choose to just do agency now, the role that I'm going to have is different, because you're not like a junior nurse doing, those, junior nursing duties, if I put it that way. It is very difficult after 30 years, 40 years working in a career, and you're still in exactly the same position. It gets really difficult. Like I say, initially, it looks like quite a good thing. So if you can just focus to progress, again, if this is something that you're considering and you're not sure how to go about it, I do offer support with this through my private coaching program. I actually have an online course that all members have access to, and the course walks you step by step through everything you need to know in order to progress. For example, if you want to become a nurse practitioner in the UK, what do you need to do? Every single thing outlines for you step by step, so that every month as you're part of the program, you're going through that and you're implementing that. Because look, career progression is not the easy option. Career progression is a long-term plan, which if you're somebody that, if you don't think long term, career progression is going to be very difficult. If you're just thinking like now, it's going to be hard, because career progression, you need to make sacrifices today. You need to sacrifice now so that you can be better tomorrow. Because for me, as a nurse who is younger, because obviously the average age for a student nurse in the UK is the 50s. So like me being in my 30s, I consider myself a young nurse, so I know that while I'm young is the best time for me to focus and progress, because as I get older, I don't want to be working, in certain positions. I want to have a position that is going to be more conducive for me if I've got arthritis. I want to have a position where I have more flexibility as well, and I earn a lot more, so that I don't need to work so many hours. Because look, one of the things that you tend to find is that you need to work so many hours if you're a junior nurse to be able to earn a reasonable amount of money. Let me give an example. If you're a band 5 nurse and you're doing agency, you're earning £30 per hour, or you're a nurse practitioner doing agency, you're earning £110 per hour. Which one would you prefer? Which option would you prefer? Again, the jobs are very, very different, because, this is just an example that I'm giving. There are many positions that you can develop into. So you do want to consider this, but agency nursing is very good because it's there. It can help you to supplement your income, but it shouldn't be your long-term plan, like this is all you're going to do, because you're going to get stuck at some point. It is very good to raise money for a specific objective. That's what I'm trying to say, but it is not a long-term plan. It is not a sustainable plan. Many people have done this. Many people have tried this. It is not easy. And look, with agency nursing, you're likely going to be more stressed out as well. Even though it's flexible, you can choose your own hours, but the negative thing is that you don't have sick pay, you don't have holiday pay, which means that if they're paying you that money, the expectation is that you need to keep money out of it so that you can pay for your annual leave when you're going on holidays. You can pay yourself when you're off sick. If you're off sick and you're doing agency, nobody's going to pay you. If you're on maternity, so you need to be aware of those things and make sure that if you're doing exclusively agency nursing, so you don't have a permanent job, all you're doing is agency nursing, I advise that you get private insurance for your to cover for your sickness, cover for your holidays and things like that. Because otherwise, if you fall sick, it's going to be so tough. And talking about falling sick, I had a very close colleague of mine that I worked with for several years. This colleague was working for the NHS, and then she decided she was struggling with career progression, wasn't able to progress. A very good nurse, so skilled, so talented, so dedicated. She tried to progress from band 5 to band 6. She didn't ever succeed, even though she was very good. She got really fed up with the whole thing and she decided to leave the NHS. So when she left the NHS, she went to do agency nursing. When she was doing agency nursing, within 1 year of doing agency nursing, unfortunately she got diagnosed with, a really, really difficult illness. And when she was diagnosed with this illness, she had left the NHS after working there for many years. So she lost that sickness pay, she lost the holiday pay, she was not able to work. She found herself with no income. And one of the things that she said to me when I went to see her in the hospital, she was like, Melvis, your NHS job, you must never leave. And she kept telling me, like, it's so important because of what had happened to her. And there are some of these things that you may be thinking that it's an isolated case. It is not an isolated case. This happens to so many colleagues where you leave to do all these other jobs that are going to pay you more. But the thing is that because there's no security, what if something happens to you? We never know. What if you fall sick? What if you're unwell? You're not going to have any pay. And that is where the challenge is. So yes, the good part of it is that you can triple your pay, but you need to really manage it well and make sure that maybe you still have a permanent job somewhere, maybe even if it's fewer hours, or you take out private healthcare insurance so that it can cover you. Because if I just say, oh, you're going to earn, £30 per hour, £35 per hour, it seems very attractive, but you need to understand what it actually entails. And for me personally, at this point in time, I've never actually done any agency nursing, but it is something that, because I've always focused on career progression, I would rather progress, which is why I follow the nurse practitioner pathway. It's quite a long, it is definitely the longest career progression pathway in nursing, but eventually it is the best because you've got the potential to earn a lot of money. In fact, talking about a lot of money, one of my other colleagues as well, who is a nurse practitioner, actually left her NHS job as well to go work for a GP surgery. And guess what? She is working as self-employed and they're paying her a staggering £130 per hour. So she gets paid £130 per hour working as a nurse practitioner, but she works on her own terms. It's a contract that she negotiated herself. And guess how she got the job? She simply walked into a GP surgery and said, look, these are my qualifications. I'm a nurse practitioner. Can I speak to the practice manager? She spoke to the practice manager. They were in need of a nurse practitioner. She negotiated that way, so she's self-employed. She doesn't work through any agency. Because again, if you're a nurse practitioner, you can work as self-employed. You don't need to use an agency to do so. And sometimes, like for me, many of the agencies, they see like my Facebook profile and they're like, oh, Melvis, you're a nurse practitioner. Some of them have contacted me in the past saying, Melvis, we're going to pay you £60 per hour to work with us. We're going to pay you, £50. But I'm just like, thank you very much. When I'm ready, I'll reach out to you. I'll let you know. Because again, I'm very keen to progress, keep enhancing my skills because I want to make sure that my practice is safe as well and then see what opportunities are out there. So the reason I'm saying this is, yes, agency nursing is a good way for you to earn that extra income. And by the way, if you're still watching till now and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a new video on YouTube every single day. Again, share this with your colleagues. If you've got your nurse friends, your nurse colleagues, anybody who is thinking, should I do nursing? Should I not? Is nursing for me? Is it not? Look, there are loads of opportunities that you can earn a lot more in nursing. Yes, the basic pay in nursing for substantive posts can be low, but there are ways that you can earn a lot more, like this agency nursing. That obviously the purpose of this video is simply to talk about that agency nursing. So NHS trusts, like we said, are paying, in fact, the agency costs have increased by 20% and gone to £3 billion, which means that the NHS is now spending £3 billion on agency staff only. So because of the shortage in nursing staff, you need to cover up for those patients. You need nurses that can cover up shifts because you can't just go to a hospital and say, oh, look, we haven't got any staff. So, because we've got no nurses. No, you need to get agency staff and it's very expensive because of the need. So when there is high demand, prices are going to go up. And I remember that a few years ago when Jeremy Hunt, who is currently the finance minister for England, he used to be the health minister for England. And he actually put a cap on agency, on how much agency nurses were paid, or how much the NHS paid agencies to recruit nurses from them. And the cap was that obviously they were going to be paying not more than 55% extra on what a nurse would normally earn. But the thing is, because of the need, NHS hospitals have no choice than to pay more because they just haven't got the staff. The need is just so much. So again, these are things that you need to consider if you're thinking about extra ways of earning some more income. But like I say, yes, just use it as a way to top up your finances because look, it can be very, very helpful if you do agency nursing. If you're trying to say buy a house, you're trying to raise a large amount of money for something, it is a very good way. But what I'm saying is it should not be a long-term plan. It should not be your permanent plan as a nurse because you want to think about as you're aging, what position do you want to have? As you're growing older and you're getting arthritis and your limbs are hurting. And look, retirement age keeps increasing as well. If you are 70 years old, do you want to be working, what role do you see yourself in? Do you see yourself doing the same nursing job that you're doing now if you're a band 5 nurse, or do you want to be in a different scenario? And this is what I focus on, obviously, in my coaching program, supporting nurses, carers, student nurses, so that they can excel, they can thrive, they can go for the best positions and know that, look, you deserve way better than you've got. There's always room for improvement. If you're already doing well, there's always more that you can do. Like me, for example, even though I'm already an advanced nurse practitioner, I'm continuously trying to progress. I'm continuously enhancing my skills, because there are those skills that make you earn more. And one of the reasons, obviously, that you earn more as a nurse practitioner is because then you're a prescriber. If you can prescribe, that is a high income skill, which I'm going to do a video about the highest paying nursing positions as well as the highest paying nursing skills to have. If you want a video about this, leave a comment below and say, Melvis, I want to see a video about this XYZ topic, and I'll do that video because again, I only do videos for things that people are asking me because I don't want to be wasting my time or your time. So please, if you haven't subscribed, to hit subscribe, share this with your friends, turn on the notification button because you want to be the first to be notified, and check out the channel every day because I make sure that I drop a video on here every single day because I want to keep that accountability with you. I want to keep you motivated. I want to keep you knowing that, look, whether you're already in nursing or you're still planning to get into nursing, you should consider this. If you're procrastinating, you're like, oh, I don't know whether nursing is for me or not. Look, you need to stop thinking. Get into it. Join us because there are loads of opportunities. Yes, like with any profession, it does come with its challenges, but obviously the good points kind of outweigh the negative points. So even though sometimes it may seem as if we talk a lot about the negatives, but obviously it's because we want change, it's because we want them to improve, it's because we know that the profession is capable of being better for all of us. So we need to highlight those areas where improvements are needed so that the profession can be better. And if you and I are not doing that, who is going to do it? I'm not somebody that I wait for someone to come and improve things for me. If I see something that I can do better, I get to work and I start doing it and implementing. It's that implementation, which is why I'm saying to you, I want to see a comment below saying, Melvis, I will implement. If you're already doing agency nursing, how are you finding it? Leave a comment below. If you're considering doing agency nursing, what is your motivation? How do you feel about it? Leave a comment below as well so that we can just interact, share some ideas, see how everybody's doing. Because like I say, nursing in the UK can be a lonely place, and that's why I'm just trying to make sure that we have the best lives that we can have in this country. Because if, like me, you've come from far to be here, you probably don't even have your family is probably back home and you're struggling. You're thinking, oh my God, I miss my kids, I miss my wife, I miss my husband, I miss my food, I miss my home, because there's all these different things. So it's just finding a way that we can still socialize, even though it may not be the ideal way, but at least you still feel that you're at home, you still feel that there are people that you can talk to, you still feel that you're being listened to, and you still feel that you have an avenue to express your concerns. Because sometimes a lot of energy is focused on encouraging nurses, for example, overseas nurses, to come to the UK, but once you get here, it's a struggle, and many people who haven't been in that situation, it's difficult to understand what you would actually be going through. So I really empathize with this because I came here as an international student myself. without my family here. So I really empathize with what we have to go through. And that's why I don't compromise when it comes to my career progression. I don't need to, because it's a huge sacrifice for me being in the UK every single day. And so, without my family, I don't see my mom, I don't see my grandparents, I don't see my cousins, my nieces, nephews. So it's to make the stay worthwhile. Find ways that you can earn more money. Ideally, you should progress, find ways to be more efficient in your job. Because look, if you're doing all these extra shifts, you need to be careful, because you're likely to be referred to the NMC as well if you make a mistake and you're an agency nurse. Because if they refer you to the NMC is going to be looking, how many hours have you been working in Melvis? If I've been working 60, 70 hours a week, how can I justify that to be safe? It is unsafe practice. So you need to make sure that you're very, very vigilant. You're very careful. You're cutting your T's and dotting your I's. Everything is perfect. You understand the policies in the area where you're working if you're doing an agency shift, because problems are always going to arise and you want to be ready. If you don't know anything, you ask. If you're not sure, if you don't feel ready to do those shifts, you don't need to do agency. You can do extra shifts where you're working so that you still get that basic support. Again, if you need support with career progression, need more information about things like this, do consider joining my private coaching program, because I'm going to help you with career progression in the UK. I have courses, like I've said. We have weekly live sessions. We meet every Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. UK time. Obviously, if you're a carer, we'll help you to transition, whether it's non-clinical jobs that you're looking for, clinical jobs, those highly paid healthcare jobs that are not nursing. Everybody in the program isn't necessarily progressing into nursing. I've got some carers that I'm currently working with them to get non-clinical healthcare jobs, because not everybody wants to go back to uni and have a degree or pay for it themselves. So I'm going to help you to facilitate that process. If you're trying to become a nursing associate, what's the process? I'll help you with that as well. Interview preparation, again, one-to-one sessions to make sure that you know exactly what is expected. Because if you can progress, then later on you have potential to earn even more, but also to have a better job as you're aging. Because like I say, we need to think about tomorrow. My mom, is somebody that she's been my mentor ever since. She really motivates me. She keeps telling me, Melvis, I don't want you to think about money now. I want you to focus on your career progression. I want you to keep progressing, keep studying, keep doing all these courses. I don't want you to grow old and be in a very difficult job. So I get a lot of support, family support as well from dad, my husband as well, very, very supportive. So, you need to make sure that you've got the right people around you that can support you to grow, to thrive, to continue excelling. Because if you don't, life can be very, very tough. But do know that there is this potential to earn a lot of money here in the UK. You can triple your pay. And if you're a nurse practitioner like me, you can earn over £100 per hour. Like I said, many of my friends and colleagues earn, over £100 for every hour that they work. So if they do one shift, they get paid over £1,000. So again, these are things that you want to make sure that you're exploring the different opportunities, because look, you want to progress, you want to grow. Whether you're trying to become a nurse anesthetist, a nurse endoscopist, you're trying to become, I don't know, a specialist nurse, diabetes research nurse, you want to become a nurse lecturer, you want to just develop into management to become a chief nurse, why not? You know what I mean? These are opportunities that you must pursue. Do not limit yourself. Career progress. The UK is one of the best things being in the UK is that career progression. If you're good and you're interested and you're keen and you know how to go about it, you will get there. You will 100% definitely get there. So please, please don't put yourself out of this. Career progression is not meant for a particular elite group of people. You and I can progress. I have worked very hard in the UK to try and progress my career. And, obviously I'm still working hard. I'm still enhancing those skills. I've still got a very long way to go, but at least there is progress. So it's about us working together to make sure that we keep thriving, we keep excelling, we keep being the best that we can be. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a video on here every single day. I've taken this as accountability. I've taken this as a mission to bring to you the best opportunities. But look, like I've said, if you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, you need us to look at your personal circumstances and say, look, hey, Melvis, my name is Clarice. This is where I'm working. This is what I'm trying to get to. What can I do? I do that through my private coaching program, because otherwise it's not sustainable, and it keeps me focused. It keeps me knowing all the members that are in the program. It keeps me, when I see those good opportunities, I know that, oh, there's Claire in the program, she's looking for this type of an opportunity, and I'll share it with you and say, oh, Claire, what do you think about this? I found this job which I think is so fantastic for you. And then we look at it, and then we apply. If you're keen, we do your CV, look at your personal statement, check your application, make sure everything is perfect before you apply. And that's why the program is so successful, because the members get that support that they need. You don't need to worry too much. If there's a personal statement you're struggling with, you and I will look at it together, make sure that it's perfect for that particular job. Because look, you cannot have one CV or one personal statement that you're using to apply for every single job. All the jobs are different. You need to change it every single time. And look, it's very time consuming. Many people struggle. They're thinking, oh, for this job, what can I include in my CV? What should I take out? So I'll do all of that with you. I'll help you, support you to do that. So I'm not doing it for you, but I'm supporting you with the process. So that's what the program is all about. You want to check it out, and make sure that you keep thriving for the best, you keep striving for the top, you keep enhancing your skills, and most importantly, believing that you are capable of the best. If you are in the UK and you're thinking, I want to progress, please don't stop wanting to progress. Don't stop actively putting in the effort to progress, because it's only by making baby steps every day that you're going to get to where you want to get to. So keep watching the videos, like, share, comment, just so that I know that you're enjoying this content and you want more of it. And keep watching the videos. I'll see you in the next video.